So we had this relatively normal EICR, quite a small property, just a few things to check. A lot of the stuff was even surface as well. So we had a good look through. It was going to be a bit tricky because it was quite heavily loaded with stuff. Got the tools out, set ourselves up to start typing up the certificate and started going through our usual visuals. Looking in and around the board for fixings, IP holes, all that sort of visual stuff in and around the unit, and taking down all the basic information for that, looking at bonding and all that sort of thing. Then moved on to the actual testing, carrying out the ZE, the ring continuity tests and insulation resistance with some RCD tests as well, all whilst we were at the unit. Then moving out to the end of line accessories and doing ZSs and visually looking at those as well for cable conditions and looking at possible remedial work required. Also counting up the number of points, going outside to see if there's any external accessories as well. Like I said, this was quite a simple one. There was a lot of trunking and surface accessories anyway. So we carried out all our testing, got all the results we needed, written down all the remedial work, and even gone round and checked that everything was working just before we left, which it was. Always take a photo and a video of the board as well, just as we leave for our own reference to make reference to later. Strangely, about an hour later, the plumbers who were still on site phoned us saying the RCD had tripped, which was really odd because everything was fine when we left. Thankfully, I was pretty local, so I went back to have a look, and it was right, nothing was coming on, which was really strange. After literally retracing our steps in case we're thinking we'd nicked a neutral somehow and for some reason it had only just shown up. Eventually, on closer inspection, was a really unfortunate situation, and if you look carefully here, you can just about see it. The two live bars were touching. This wasn't the case when we'd originally checked, because I'd even run my phone underneath to check that the breakers were sitting on the bus bar properly. All I can assume is the last thing we do, as we always do, is tighten up all the connections with the torque driver before we leave. And between the bar pulling a little tighter and then putting the lid on at the end to somehow touch together without us knowing. So once we found it, I cut it down properly from both sides and also made sure the PVC was much longer than the bar itself, and that was problem solved. A fault found, of our own doing apparently. Follow us for more.